landing is and will be soft.
Landing is and will be soft. Landing is and will be soft.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. I guess we can all just pack up and go home. No recession to worry about, guys, because the president says so. Now, to be clear, this is not going to be a political video. This isn't going to be who to vote for or anything like that. This is just to tear apart some of the things that Biden said at his State of the Union address last night that pertain to the housing market and the economy, issues that we have covered here on the channel extensively.
I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years. And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass.
Biden wants to give people $400 a month for 2 years in order to buy a home. So basically, that's money that's supposed to be used towards your mortgage payment, and that's a big deal, guys. That's $4,800 a year times 2 is almost $10,000 for people. It's $9,600 over the span of 2 years. And you can say, well, that's not a lot of money, Michael, because houses cost so much and people need to have this in order to have a leg up to be able to buy real estate. Well, think about this, guys. The idea here is let's give people money to buy real estate because it's too expensive, right? When you do that, what does that do? It just drives up the price of real estate because you have more money chasing the same limited supply of real estate. That's what got us into this mess to begin with, because we had so few options with so much money available to go ahead and buy this real estate. So that was one of the main issues that caused home prices to surge like they did. And listen, it's not just Biden doing this. Like in Florida, we have the Hometown Heroes program, guys. Like I've been critical about that, giving people millions and millions of dollars, helping to subsidize the cost of housing here in Florida. And when they release those programs, literally people suck up the money within a few days and it's all gone. That's how much people go after this to get free money to buy real estate. So you better believe that if he does something like this, a lot of people are going to be taking him up on his offer. And what about the beginning of this? The landing is and will be soft. So you're telling me that there's going to be no recession, right? At all. No recession risk. We should all just continue life as normal. Doesn't really matter that the stock market's at all-time highs and we've had one of the longest yield inversions in history. Doesn't matter. None of that stuff really matters. All that matters is that the president says it's going to be okay. Now, one thing that Biden said in his speech that was not really clear on what the goal is with this or what they want people to do, but it sounds like to me that they want people to refinance their homes in order to save $1,000. That's what he said anyways. And I just don't know who on earth right now is going to refinance their home, especially people that have a low mortgage rate, in order to save $1,000 with some kind of tax credit. He didn't go into detail on this. All he said was he wants to eliminate title insurance on federally backed mortgages, and he's encouraging people to refinance so you can save $1,000. That's pretty much all he said. But why would they want people to refinance, guys? Let's think about this. A lot of people get paid in the refinancing process. It's yet another thing that can artificially boost the economy, right? It's another thing that if the refinance applications keep shooting up, then it looks like the housing market is doing well on paper because people are refinancing their homes. And that's good for business, right? Another thing that he said he wants to do is he's going to crack down on big landlords. I think that's something they're actually doing right now already. and they're going to give money to rehab over 2 million rental units in the country, which is going to increase the amount of rental inventory we have. And that's going to be a good thing to increase the amount of rents available, and ultimately will help lower the cost of rent. And if rent costs go lower, you can rest assured home prices will go lower as well, as the competition from those lower price rentals will continue to be more appealing than buying a home. He also mentioned that he wants to tackle shrinkflation and go after these companies that are screwing us over with the shrinkflation. Not sure how well that's going to work out, but yeah, we're definitely all being screwed over by that, no doubt. Now here's a big controversial issue with this, guys, and we've talked about this on the channel several times, is the student loan forgiveness. During his speech, he said that he has given now 4 million Americans student loan forgiveness. And they had a guy there who's a teacher that they kind of highlighted as somebody that they did this for. And he said, you know, because this guy got student loan forgiveness, now he's going to be able to send his daughter to college. Like, what kind of fool would do that? Like, you were struggling yourself financially to pay off these student loans, right? And now you're going to encourage your daughter to go ahead and go down the same road? Makes no sense. Why would anybody do that? It's just like you getting into massive credit card debt as a parent, and then somehow, by some luck, you get it all forgiven, and then you teach your kid how to go into credit card debt themselves. I don't know. But Biden says that it's good for the economy to give student loan forgiveness, because when they do this, it helps people start businesses, it helps people buy homes, and it allows people to just spend more money in the economy. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you think this is ultimately a good thing or not. I would think a lot of people are against this, especially people who had to pay their student loans out of pocket and actually did not get any sort of forgiveness, right? So it's not really fair to people who already paid a bunch of money to go to college and, you know, worked 2-3 jobs in order to make that happen for several years, ate ramen noodles every day, and then somebody else comes along and just gets it all forgiven. It's not really fair. Another touchy subject that was brought up is income taxes. According to Biden, he says that nobody making less than $400,000 a year will pay a single extra penny in federal taxes under his watch. Now, I don't know, guys. That sounds like it could be a lie, because, you know, taxes are always going up. I think they just raised taxes again this year in 2024, so we all can expect to pay more this year, and that's why people are getting smaller refunds in 2024. I'm willing to bet a bunch of those people who are getting smaller refunds don't make over $400,000 a year. But on that same subject of income taxes, he said what he wants to do is, there's 1,000 billionaires in our country right now, and he wants to do a flat tax on 25% on all of them. Okay, so all of them have to pay 25% tax rate, because the effective tax rate that the average billionaire pays in the United States is 8.2%, which is less than a school teacher or a sanitation worker pays, and therefore it's completely unfair, and these billionaires need to pay their fair share. And, you know, we've gone over stuff like this before on the channel. Sure, can they collect more taxes from these people? Great. Is that going to help anything? I don't know, because one thing that the government has shown is they're very good at taking our money and squandering it on things that don't matter. So is collecting a higher amount of income tax really going to help anything? So far, they've proven that not to be true. But also, these billionaires supposedly be paying this higher tax rate would also now probably be raising prices on a bunch of their goods and services, make up for it. So this could easily add to inflation, because they don't want to see their profits go down, that's for sure. Biden also briefly mentioned that unemployment is at 50-year lows right now. One of my subscribers sent me this email showing you that a lot of these companies are getting some sort of subsidized help that allows them to hang on to employees way longer than they actually should, because they're basically able to get partial unemployment for these people that would otherwise be fired. And guess what? Those people don't count as being unemployed, because they're still on the payroll wherever they're working if they're getting this, but they're not getting counted as unemployed. But because you have this company paying the business not to fire them, essentially, they're not being counted as somebody unemployed, where otherwise they would be if it wasn't for this artificial stimulus. So lots of shenanigans going on with unemployment. And also, if you've been unemployed for over a year, you also don't count anymore. So that's another big problem with it. And part of the reason that the unemployment numbers are probably way too low, and they're just artificial at this point. Biden also mentioned in his speech my hometown, actually, of Belvidere, Illinois, about how he revived the Chrysler plant over there and they saved 4,000 union jobs. And I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I grew up a stone's throw away from that Chrysler plant, guys. I actually made some old videos here on the YouTube channel showing where I used to live over there and everything. And just kind of cool to hear him say that. You know, out of all places I could have gotten mentioned, Belvidere, Illinois, in the State of the Union address, that was pretty neat. But I think the thing that concerns me the most about all of this is how nobody wants to let anything come back down to reality. You know, instead of letting home prices come down naturally, letting the market work itself out, let's just give people $400 a month as an incentive to go out and buy a home. Instead of letting the free market work, let's charge billionaires more taxes and people that make over $400,000 a year more taxes. Like, I'm not against people paying more tax if the money was going towards something useful, guys. Like, but it seems like the more money that they take, you know, the worse things get. It doesn't seem like it's really helping anything when the tax rates go up. At least that's what's happening from my view on it. And as you guys can see, it is a beautiful spring break day out here at Miami Beach. Couldn't ask for a much better beach day. It is hot though. Doesn't really feel like spring, feels more like summer out here. I know one more thing that he did mention was the credit card fees, that he's gonna be eliminating them because the maximum credit card late fee right now is $32, and that's gonna be reduced down to $8. And that is a good thing to save consumers money. However, I feel like whenever they do stuff like this, that corporations just find another way to charge you more. You know, that's what they do. Just like this whole thing with the minimum wage over in California, one thing that they're doing is they're going to implement $20 an hour minimum wage, but the business's retaliation to this is, okay, we're going to hire way less people, and we're also going to cut everybody's hours who's working here in order to kind of keep our payroll numbers the same. So businesses and corporations are always going to find a way to fight against these government policies, is what it seems to me. But I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to see what your guys' opinion are on some of these ideas and how you think it's going to affect the housing market and the economy. Write your comments below, let everybody know. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.